bombshell Meghan was Andrew's private yacht companion for 3 years. Listen, this isn't just another casual piece of royal gossip you scroll past while eating your morning toast. This is the kind of radioactive, high-voltage whisper that gets people permanently deleted from VIP guest lists, abruptly uninvited from elite social circles, and quietly, sternly warned to never, ever repeat what they just heard. Because the very second this claim is uttered out loud, the pristine, heavily marketed royal fairy tale doesn't just wobble on its pedestal, it completely fractures into a million pieces. The rumor starts exactly where these kinds of explosive things always do, behind the heavy velvet curtains of a private, ultra-luxurious room where the incredibly powerful relax because they foolishly think the rest of the world can't touch them. Picture it. Flickering candlelight, impossibly expensive vintage wine, a dangerous amount of upper-class confidence, and one woman, Sarah Ferguson, allegedly letting her guard down for just a single careless second. And that is the exact moment the entire room supposedly went ice cold. Because this claim wasn't about routine charity work. It wasn't about typical, tiresome palace protocol drama. It wasn't even about Prince Andrew's usual, dark cloud of scandal that everyone is already exhausted by. No, this was about Meghan Markle, and the pristine, polished version of how she entered the royal orbit. A version that millions of people around the globe accepted like a sweet, comforting bedtime story. Are you ready for the alleged line that froze the room? Meghan wasn't new. She was Andrew's companion for 3 summers straight. Yes, you heard that right. 3 summers. Not a random starry-eyed meeting, not a surprise love story, and absolutely not some innocent, wide-eyed entrance into the monarchy. If this is even half true, the history books are a lie. Grab your popcorn because we are about to tear the official timeline completely in half. If you thought the official narrative was a bit too perfect, a bit too neatly packaged by high-priced PR firms, then congratulations, your intuition is functioning perfectly. Because the moment you pull on this specific thread, the entire tapestry of modern royal history begins to unravel in the most chaotic way imaginable. To truly understand why this alleged Sarah Ferguson slip-up is causing absolute pandemonium in the hidden corridors of power, we have to look at the players involved and the sheer weight of the baggage they carry. We are talking about Prince Andrew, a man whose name has practically become synonymous with high society shadow worlds, international billionaires, and luxury retreats that happen far away from the prying eyes of the public. For years, the palace has tried to build a digital fortress around his past, attempting to treat his controversies like an isolated incident, a one-off mistake from a rogue royal. But what if the web is vastly wider than anyone has ever dared to admit? Enter Meghan Markle, the Hollywood actress who supposedly stumbled into the British monarchy entirely by accident, completely naive to the inner workings of the institution, a self-proclaimed blank slate who didn't even know who Prince Harry was. That is the story we were sold. It is a beautiful story, highly profitable, and incredibly cinematic. But when you place that narrative next to the whispers originating from Fergie's alleged late-night confession, the gears grind to a screeching halt. The implication here is massive because it fundamentally alters the power dynamic of the entire royal family. If Meghan was already a familiar face within Andrew's elite circle, then she wasn't an outsider being initiated into a strange new world. She was someone who had already observed the machinery from behind the curtain. Think about the sheer level of calculation that would require. It means the public has been participating in a massive piece of performance art for nearly a decade. And let's be honest, the internet has always harbored deep suspicions about how a relatively obscure cable television actress managed to navigate the notoriously icy, hyper-exclusive social hierarchies of London with such flawless, effortless precision. You don't just walk into those rooms unless someone has already vetted you. Unless you have already been deemed safe, useful, or compliant. The reference script points directly to this exact realization, hitting the high society insiders like a physical blow. The moment the word companion was dropped in relation to a 3-summer timeline, the entire romantic facade evaporated, replaced by something cold, calculated, and transactional. We aren't talking about a casual weekend barbecue at a country estate. We are talking about 3 entire summers spent navigating the hyper-wealthy, deeply insulated world of Mediterranean yachting. A world where privacy is bought at a premium and the rules of normal society completely cease to exist. This brings us to the dark heart of the controversy. The reputation of the royal family itself, an institution that survives entirely on public perception. They can survive political blunders, they can survive expensive divorces, and they can even survive financial mismanagement. What they cannot survive is the total obliteration of their credibility. If the public realizes that the entire modern generation of royals was built on a foundation of manufactured timelines and hidden pre-existing relationships, the institutional trust collapses instantly. This is why the panic behind the scenes is reportedly so intense. It's not about protecting one person's feelings, it's about preventing a total system failure. The insiders who allegedly overheard Fergie weren't shocked because they care about tabloid gossip. They were terrified because they understand how the global media ecosystem works. Once a crack this deep appears in the foundation, the entire structure becomes unstable. People start asking the questions they were never supposed to ask. They start looking at old photographs with a magnifying glass. They start re-examining old flight logs, old guest registries, and old social media posts that were hastily deleted right around the time a certain royal engagement was announced to the world. The timing of this revelation couldn't be worse for the palace, which has been desperately trying to project an image of stability and modernization. Instead, they are being dragged back into the murky, unresolved depths of the mid-2010s. A period where the social circles of the ultra-wealthy were overlapping in ways that are now coming back to haunt everyone involved. The reference script paints a vivid picture of this elite anxiety. A world where people don't send emails or texts because they know those things can be subpoenaed, leaked, or hacked. Instead, they operate entirely on verbal agreements and heavy silences. But verbal agreements only work as long as everyone keeps their mouth shut, and human beings, even royal ones, are notoriously bad at keeping secrets when the pressure gets high enough or when the vintage wine starts flowing a little too freely. If Sarah Ferguson did indeed let this information slip, it wasn't just a mistake. It was an act of accidental sabotage against the very family she has spent decades trying to stay in the good graces of. The sheer audacity of the claim is what makes it so infectious. It forces you to reevaluate every single public interaction we've witnessed over the past several years. Remember the icy tension between certain family members at royal events? Remember the sudden dramatic departures and the immediate aggressive media warfare that broke out between different factions of the family? If you look at those events through the lens of the traditional narrative, it looks like a standard case of personality clashes and cultural misunderstandings. But if you look at it through the lens of this alleged yacht connection, the entire landscape changes. It ceases to be a petty family argument and transforms into a desperate, high-stakes game of containment. It becomes a battle over who controls the narrative, who holds the keys to the archive, and who is willing to burn down the entire house just to keep their own secrets from seeing the light of day. This isn't just about whether two people knew each other before they were supposed to. It's about the nature of that connection and what it says about the entire system of high society networking. The world of luxury yachts, private islands, and unrecorded gatherings is a parallel universe with its own currency, its own hierarchy, and its own rules of survival. In that world, people are often categorized not by their talents, their achievements, or their names, but by their utility. And that brings us directly to the most chilling aspect of the alleged transcript, the specific terminology that was reportedly used to describe how people were viewed within that highly insulated orbit. It's a word that strips away all the romance, all the glamour, and all the royal mystique, leaving behind a stark, unvarnished reality that most people are completely unprepared to face, which leads us directly into the terrifying mechanics of how these exclusive circles actually keep track of their human assets. To understand the true weight of that transition, you have to look at the exact term that reportedly caused the temperature in that candlelit room to drop below freezing. According to the alleged transcript, Sarah Ferguson didn't use a polite, high society euphemism to describe the situation. She didn't refer to Meghan as an acquaintance, a guest, or even a casual friend of the circle. No, the word that allegedly slipped from her lips was inventory. Let that sink in for a moment. In the hyper-exclusive, deeply insulated world of Mediterranean yachting and billionaire retreats, inventory is not a word used for luxury leather goods, imported champagnes, or high-end designer wardrobes. It is a cold, clinical, and deeply transactional term used to describe a very specific category of guest. These are the people who do not appear on the official guest lists, the ones who are flown in on private charters under the radar, and the ones whose presence is entirely dependent on their ability to entertain, blend in, and remain absolutely silent when the sun goes down. If this is the label that was applied to a future duchess, then the entire foundation of the modern royal romance isn't just slightly flawed, it is completely transactional. This is where the story shifts from a messy piece of tabloid gossip into a highly coordinated, high-stakes game of survival. Because if Meghan was classified as inventory within Prince Andrew's inner circle for 3 consecutive summers, it means she wasn't some independent Hollywood actress who happened to catch the eye of a prince in a London club. It means she was already a known variable. She was already vetted, already categorized, and already familiar with the unique, unspoken rules of the global elite. Think about the sheer psychological impact of this realization on the public. For years, the narrative of the Sussex romance was sold as a progressive victory, a modern self-made woman of color entering the dusty, traditional halls of the British monarchy to shake things up and bring the institution into the 21st century. But if the inventory claim has even a shred of truth to it, then the entire outsider narrative was a beautifully constructed illusion. It was a strategy. It was a cover story designed to rewrite a history that was far too complex, far too dark, and far too connected to Prince Andrew's controversial orbit to ever be exposed to the light of day. The panic that this creates behind palace walls is not just about public relations, it is about the physical records that document these years. This isn't the 19th century where secrets could be buried in a royal vault and forgotten for 100 years. We are talking about the mid-2010s. This was an era of digital footprints, high-definition smartphone cameras, GPS tracking, and automated maritime registries. And this is exactly where the alleged transcript introduces the element that makes everyone in the palace legal team sweat through their expensive suits. The guest books of Royal Lodge. You see, Royal Lodge isn't just a fancy house where Andrew and Fergie live. It is a heavily secured royal residence. Every single soul who passes through those gates, whether they are a crowned head of Europe, a high-profile politician, or a quiet late-night visitor, must be logged. The security teams keep records. The staff keeps records. The ledger is an official physical document. As the reference script so perfectly puts it, you can't just burn it. You can't easily erase it. It exists in the state archives, a permanent silent witness to who was where and when. If Meghan's name is written in those books alongside dates from 2014, 2015, or early 2016, then the timeline is dead. It completely destroys the claims made in her own high-profile interviews, her Netflix documentary, and Harry's memoir Spare. In those versions of history, Meghan was a naive American who barely knew what the royal family was, who had to Google the national anthem, and who had never met any of Harry's relatives before their official introduction. But if she was already walking the halls of Royal Lodge years prior, interacting with Andrew and Fergie, then the entire world has been subjected to one of the most elaborate, coordinated gaslighting campaigns in modern media history. The implications of this are so explosive that it explains why, according to insiders, certain phone lines between London and California went completely dead the moment these whispers started circulating. Nobody wanted to be caught on an unencrypted line discussing what might actually be written in those ledger books. But the paper trail doesn't stop at the gates of Royal Lodge. The transcript allegedly points to an even more dangerous set of records, the maritime logs of the luxury yacht Lady Rose. In the world of international yachting, every vessel must maintain strict operational logs for maritime safety, port authority clearances, and insurance purposes. This is where we meet the mysterious figure known only as Captain X. In any good thriller, there is always a keeper of secrets, a quiet observer who stands at the helm while the wealthy behave badly behind closed doors. Captain X is allegedly that man. According to the whispers, this captain didn't just run the yacht. He kept meticulous, private duplicates of the operational logs. Why? Because in that world, information is the ultimate insurance policy. When you are catering to some of the most powerful, unpredictable people on the planet, having a physical record of exactly who was on your vessel, what ports they entered, and what nights they stayed on board is the only thing that guarantees your survival if things go south. The transcript suggests that these private logs kept by Captain X contain 2 very distinct categories of passengers. On one side, you have the official guests. These are the wives, the business partners, the recognizable